Good morning, Haka says here. Today we're going to be continuing work on the Tesla Turbine power control board that's meant for Jeremiah up in Spokane. So the board has been mostly completed. The only main thing that's missing is the wiring and stuff for the tachometer and general frequency measurement. But for today, while I wait on some parts, I think I'm going to cut a protective window or something to seal this LCD so it's not the bare LCD against the panel. So I do have some scrap material, some clear acrylic that's about the right thickness, and I'm going to try to whip up a quick CAD model. We'll put that out on the CNC and hopefully have something out in a few hours. So the CAD model's done. It wasn't too difficult, seeing as I already mocked up the CAD to get the machine and window holes. So all we really have here is drilling a couple number 4 through holes and then passing through with 1/8 inch end mill, several passes till we get down to the depth. So that was relatively simple. So now I just got to get that pushed over to the CNC and turn it out. So now I'm working on getting the plastic mounted to the mill. I'm actually using an aluminum fixture plate that I happened to make some years ago, but rather than screw everything down by hand, I'm actually just using a couple side clamps and some scrap wood to keep it elevated above the platform. And it's not the best solution, but it doesn't have to be too perfect. And as you can see here, it was a little bit wobbly, so I'm actually adding one more clamp to help keep things secured down. So that should work pretty good. Now I'm coming in with the digital indicator, cycling it around and moving it to the area that I'm going to cut. First operation is coming to set the Z-axis. And then, as long as I have the tool inside the chuck, I'm going to do a quick jog back around all the axes to make sure that the cutout, that when I come in with the milling bit, it doesn't collide with the clamps or, you know, smash into the bottom or do anything crazy. So that's always nice to have. Now, can't really see on screen, but grabbing the drill chuck, looking up and grabbing the proper drill bit to through hole, which is through hole 440. Doing a quick measurement, just slightly off camera to make sure I have the tool length, and then once that's done, I have to plug that into the mill. That'll set the offset so the mill knows exactly how high the drill bit is. That's all done. Now I can swap tools. Drop the drill bit in there. And hopefully start drilling. First part of this operation is to drill the mounting holes, and then once the mounting holes are completed, I can come in with the milling bit to cut out the actual window. Using the garbage spacers too. I don't have to drill into the aluminum plate, but it has a little bit of a cant to it, so I'm kind of fumbling last minute to try to get a piece of wood in to help keep everything more stable. And it seems like that did it. Probably do this operation in about 10 seconds, seeing as it's really thin, simple plastic, but a lot of times it's easier to take it safe and not risk burning out bits or cutting plastic or things like that. Makes the tools last longer too. Now that that's done, swapping it out with the end mill, coming back in tighter, and now I'm going to shoot the window. Just like I said, I'm actually, in this case, I'm actually going too slow because rather than cutting, it's actually starting to burn through the material. And generates a really nasty fuzz on the side that you have to clean up on a sander later. But I've already got it to this point, so I didn't want to risk going too fast and cut through the plastic. So we'll just let this finish. Plastic that's starting to form on the bit. As long as it's spinning, that's not really a concern, but what can happen is as soon as you stop or as soon as it starts to cool down, that plastic will solidify into one giant solid blob, and then it'll either be really difficult to remove from the mill, or if you're operating on CNC and you have it plunge in, it might crack the bit or break your piece, or all kinds of crazy things. Started to cut through to the wood. So when that happens, I'm actually supporting it a little bit with my hand. As long as the bit doesn't hit, it's not the safest thing, but what it does, it helps to secure it, because what can happen is the bit could cause the whole thing to, once it disassembles, once it breaks off from the piece, it could come and smash it and cause kinds of issues. Get that plastic nub before it completely solidifies. That's good. And take the piece off of the machine. And you can see it's really crumbly on the outside, but it did get through okay. So, last piece is a little cleanup with the sander, but that mounted okay. And as you can see, it's pretty much finished. So that's one more piece out the door. So hope you enjoyed.